What is up, Cowboys Nation? Mike Tag here. We are ready to go. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully you guys are doing good, enjoying the weekend. It's like the last day you break out the jersey, whatever you want. I'm representing Tank, so all you people, we'll get into that, but you guys can hate if you want, but I'm a Tank fan, and if it wasn't for Tank, I wouldn't know any of you guys, so I do owe Tank that, except for Jeff. I would know Jeff. I'll take that back. So first of all, you guys, as you're rolling in, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you guys share, all that kind of stuff. Get all the pleasantries out of the way. It's going to be a very laid-back show. We're going to go through the Super Bowl preview. We're going to look back maybe at the 25 season, some highs and lows with the Cowboys and in the NFL in general. We obviously got some George Pickens, news, which I don't think is a big surprise. The Cowboys made some other hires we'll get into, but really whatever else you guys want to talk about. Before we get going, Greg, first, you're doing well. You got Eugene, the hit machine. He's supposed to be coming on, but we all know Eugene. You got. I believe it sometimes when I see him, but I like you represent. You might have to be Eugene if he doesn't. If he doesn't show up, you're gonna act like
I need somebody.
What's happening, Greg? You good?
Doing good, man. Doing good. What's up, Cuts? What's up, April? What's up? Who is that? Drew? We
got Andrew. We got Cuts. We got the crew here. And I think today we're going to do for the members, we're going to go ahead and do that giveaway. I'm going to set something up for you guys to do it. So we'll get that rolling. And my man, Jeff, hopefully you had a good weekend. I wasn't sure. I didn't hear from you. So I was like, hey, maybe you went to go see your son. Maybe you went on a trip. Maybe something happened. But I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Hey, happy to be here. Crazy morning. I'm flying out work to Alabama tomorrow or today. So, yep, happy to be here.
What part of Alabama?
Good or bad?
Is it good or bad? I'm going to Alabama.
You're going to Sticks.
So, there's no good about that. So,
going to the Sticks.
No, well, good to have you here. So it is Super Bowl Sunday, and it is one of those, if you're a Cowboys fan, right, it's one of those bittersweets. Oh, we got some Raiders in the house.
Raiders.
It's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about the draft a little bit and maybe talk a little bit about these Raiders and see what's going on. And yeah, Jimmy, I feel bad for him. James Pierce got arrested down in Miami. Not so good. You got to be smarter, man. You can't be doing that foolishness, especially when you got
charges.
Yeah, good contract and all that kind of stuff, man. And yeah, definitely safe trip, Jeff, from Rick. So yeah, so looking at the Super Bowl, like I said, I am Team Seattle, but I'm a Cowboy. So, but Tank Lawrence has always been good to me. He kind of got me on the map and got me to meet a lot of these people because of the video he reposted that I did. So I'm always indebted to Tank Lawrence, and he didn't do anything wrong in my eyes. With the Cowboys. The Cowboys decided to move on. It was their choice, and he moved on, and he went to a team, and he said they're going to go to the Super Bowl, and we all laughed at him, and the rest is history because here they are, and they got an opportunity to change it, and win that Super Bowl and get the last laugh. So I want to go around. So Jeff, start with you. What's your vibe like today? Is it kind of like it's been a quiet, like not really watching a lot of stuff? I mean, how you feeling today with the Super Bowl? Are you getting into it now that it's Super Bowl Sunday? Are you still kind of hands?
It's Super Bowl Sunday. I will get there at some point. Right now, it's just first I have to travel, make it to the hotel, make sure I get there on time to see the Super Bowl. But it doesn't have the same feel. It doesn't have the same, like a marquee team feel. Like it's not the Cowboys. It's not, dare I say, even the 49ers. It's the Patriots, who everyone, unless you're a Patriots fan, loves to hate. And it's the Seahawks, who are way out there west. Now, I mean, I'm sure we'll go over our picks a little bit later, but I'm hoping that sometime between now and this evening that it will really start to get me.
Yeah. And we will get to the picks. We got Uncle Cheech will be coming on at 10:30 Eastern, so in about 30 minutes, we'll get into some of the picks for the Super Bowl with you guys. And he's been out in Vegas. He's been kind of getting the pulse of the land, so he'll be able to give us a good vibe and see where the money should be going. But Greg, how you feeling? It's it's Super Bowl 60. You always remind me that you've kind of you've done it all, seen it all, been through it all. So I mean, where does this one rank as far as excitement, as far as what you're into over the past 10, 15 years?
I feel the same exact way Jeff does about this. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not excited. I'm not really looking forward to it. I mean, I want to see the Seahawks play well, but there's nothing in the air, nothing this whole week, the last 2 weeks, nothing about it has been the same as the Super Bowls of the past, where you see these dynamic interviews and these crazy commercials. And I really haven't paid attention. I haven't. And the 2 weeks have gone by so quick that now the Super Bowl is upon us. And I'm like, yay. That's about how I feel about it. I don't know. Even the Hall of Fame ceremony and the honors ceremony, none of that was appealing to me. None of it. It was just all womp womp, routine, not exciting. I don't know what's going to be the excitement today before the game, but when the game has started, maybe I'll start to get a little interested in it, or just look at it and turn my head and get on social media, because I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah. And I've just, so we're going to try and get you into a little bit. So we're going to talk some of the Super Bowl, but we're going to wait. We're going to wait a few minutes. We'll get Uncle Cheech in and we'll get into some of that Super Bowl stuff. But, one of the things wanted to talk about and get you guys in the chat, your feelings. I don't think there's any surprise, and I don't know if there's much to read into it. And the Cowboys are known. To try and steal some headlines from the NFL and big games. This didn't need to be announced now. You can't really officially do anything for 10 days. So, but the Cowboys kind of leaked out. Their plans obviously are to tag Pickens, which, just to calm everyone down, that doesn't mean they're going to franchise tag him and they're not going to get a long deal worked out. It's just typically that way free agency. You got to tag him. Otherwise he can go somewhere else. I mean, they have to, they got no choice. But the timing of it is always a Cowboys thing to do. And we always say, just wish they would be a quiet off season. But with George Pickens being tagged, I mean, not really surprising, but George Pickens really even said he's not against the tag, but that's just probably being goodwill. I think his agent would probably think something else. But what's your guys' thoughts on the whole George Pickens and tag? Any big deal, Jeff?
I think, like we said last week, if this is a tag in order to get a long-term contract in place, no problem. Or if you can't do this as a tag that we're going to make a trade before the draft, no problem. But if it's any other thing than that, it becomes a big deal extremely quickly.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that they sign him to a long-term contract, because as much as I want to keep George Pickens, I wouldn't sign that $28 million contract for 1 year, because there's too much of a liability and a risk for him. He gets out there and gets hurt, and Jerry would be looking for any reason not to sign him. He get out there and twist the ankle for a while. And that'll be the excuse. So if I'm George, as much as I want George Pickens to come back, the only way I would accept the fact that George is no longer with us is if Jerry tries to keep him on that franchise tag for 1 year and not pay him. Then I'll be like, well, George, move on and get your bag. Because George even said, I'm willing to do whatever is right for both of us, meaning whatever is right for the team and him. But he's going to stay out of the mix because it's out of his control. He's going to let the agents deal with it. And you can tell through that language, he means I am not going to be a Michael Parsons. Nice. I'm going to make sure I don't get caught up like Michael Parsons. So he's staying away from it. And I hope Jerry doesn't have any personal issues with Micah's agent and decides Pickens is priority and sign him. Because if he doesn't sign him, I'm going to be highly upset also. That'll be the sabotage attempt for 2026, and that means he's been consistent sabotaging the team. And I would rather see George go get his bag than to play for 1 year.
Greg, you remember we got the tape of what you said last week now.
What's that?
About you were speaking highly of Jerry. Remember that?
No, I wasn't speaking highly of Jerry.
Mike,
he was.
Thank you.
I said so far, with the language he put out there about management, he has hired some coaches out of the box, which is a good start. I said, but he mess up this George Pickens thing, then he's going to take away every chance he has of me giving him a little ounce of happiness, a little ounce of saying, okay, thank you, Jerry. So mess this George Pickens up, especially when you got me about right here, Jerry. You mess this George Pickens up, I'm like this now. So don't blow it. Don't blow it.
Hey. Mike,
wow.
Shout out to the new subscriber.
Yeah, I was just going to, real quick on Eric. I had the pleasure. I don't know if you guys remember on Wednesday's show. I think it was Wednesday. I got I told someone, I'm in Tampa, and I believe in Eric said, hey, I'm going to be in Tampa. And I said, if you are, I'll buy you a beer. Well, I'm a man of my word. And he messaged me on Saturday and said, hey, you going to be where you said you're going to be? I said, yes. He said, you still buying a beer? I said, yes. So him and his son, so two Erics, Eric, I don't know if it's senior or junior, but both of them are Eric. That we ended up meeting up with them, hung out for a few hours, man. Just great people, great conversation. And that's why I love Cowboys Nation. I love the fans, just the passion, but the love that everyone has. I mean, he's from Pennsylvania coming down on vacation, and he drove almost an hour to come meet up, have some drinks, talk some Cowboys, talk life. We talked movies. We talked all, shows, everything. So definitely appreciate Eric and his son for coming out, and look forward to hopefully hanging out again. They got some common interests, like some boating, likes to go out. So we're going to figure something out, especially when the summer gets started in Florida. So definitely appreciate it. I'm going to ask this because Eugene keeps calling me. So I'm going to ask Jeff and Greg to handle the show, and I got to go see what's going on with our hit machine. So you guys got it. You guys got it locked down.
We got it.
All
right. So got a little something set up. Keys to each team winning the Super Bowl. So, Greg, I'm gonna say some things. I want you to weigh in, and then audience, we're gonna need your feedback as well, and it's gonna be fun when we look back on this and say, oh, so and so in the comments spoke about this, and this came to be true. So, first, let's talk about the Patriots. Right? First and foremost, and I think everyone's gonna agree with this. Drake May must protect the
right? Absolutely.
Like, he's got 2 fumbles or 2 interceptions and 6 fumbles in the playoffs. That won't get it done against Seattle. So that's the first thing with Drake May. But the second thing with Drake May is, if you saw in that game against the Broncos, it looked like he hurt his shoulder.
He did. Yeah.
He better protect that shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to see sack, strip, fumble, sack, strip, fumble, sack, strip, fumble, and this game's going to be over before halftime.
Yeah.
So, so tell me, Greg, what are your thoughts on what do you think Drake May will do?
Well, first of all, I think Vrabel's going to be real smart with Drake. They're going to try to establish that run right away because Henderson is their go-to. They're going to establish run. If they're successful in that run, then when they do play action pass, they're going to be short dinks, and quick. Get the ball out quick. Why? Because that preserves Drake's body from getting damaged, and it gets the ball out quicker to give them an opportunity to get 4 or 5 yards. Because all they're going to do, I think, is meticulously try to drive down the field, slowly but surely, and then score, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. They're not going to try to do anything great and exciting, because if Drake has to sit back in that pocket for any number of time looking for a receiver, with that defensive core coming at him, somebody's going to get to him eventually. And when he falls, it doesn't even have to be a hard fall. He falls on their shoulder. We may have the backup playing the second half of this game, or Drake try his best to stay in there just to hand the ball off and then the game scheme is taken away from him. So Vrabel's going to establish the run. If he can make that successful, dump it off with quick plays and screens, and maybe right over the line, just so they can get the ball out of Drake's hands, and tell Drake, don't use your legs unless absolutely necessary.
Okay, so then going to that point, that was my next point, was Ramondre Stevenson. They're going to have to give him a hefty dose of the ball, in my opinion. They're going to have to get 4 or 5 yards per carry. If they're not, then I think they need to throw early on first and second downs to stay ahead of the chains, so it's third and manageable each drive. But what I've also seen, if you watch the Patriots throughout the playoffs, they pick and choose when they go deep, when they go for a big play. They have to hit on those plays. And one of the keys to that is whether it's Stevenson's in or Henderson's in, they're going to have to pick up that pass rush. And, you know, we benefited. Zeke is probably one of the best. Zeke and probably Walter Payton, probably the two best running backs I've seen when picking up the blitz and laying it on somebody. They're going to have to do that, and they're going to have to do that successfully.
Yeah, and if they go downfield, it won't be predictable. It'll be after a few runs and some short passes, and then all of a sudden they set that up for a pass downfield when Seattle's not looking for it because Seattle's putting people in the box. So they're gonna have to be real smart. But Drake's going to have to get the ball out, and he cannot run. He cannot run. If he runs, Seattle's going to try to put a lick on him to make that shoulder sore.
Yeah, he's got to run smart, right? He's got to run smart. Yeah. I mean, he's got to use his legs, though. I mean, that's one of his strengths. You know, is his ability to move a little bit.
Well, he can't be the leading rusher again.
No, he can't do that. No. But it's almost like I say with Dak is get your 5 yards and slide, get your first down, don't try and be a hero, but be very smart. If they're playing man and they're dropping back and you've got that middle open, go run and get the first down, slide and live for another set of downs. But I think you're talking about the Seattle defense. I mean, it's they're going to have their work cut out. They're going to have their work cut out moving the ball on them.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the defensive players, not one of the stars, but one of the defensive players, wraps him up and falls on him body wise. Okay, that's a penalty. He won't get kicked out the game, but that'll do it. That'll do it for Drake. If that weight falls on him, this is the Super Bowl. This is the Super Bowl. Gentleman attitude is out the window. The thing is, destroy your opponent at any means necessary to get an advantage. And I can see it happening.
Yeah. And just an update. I'm back. Eugene is not the most technically savvy people in the world. I think we all know that. So he's trying to get it switched over to his tablet and or may do his phone. But if he doesn't, we may just end up taking a phone call. He'll be on the line. You don't have that same energy. When the hit machine, you want to see that face, you want to see that energy. So hopefully he'll get his stuff working. I know his girl's kind of helping him, so hopefully he will get that going. But yeah, where did you guys stop off at? I don't want to rehash anything you guys did.
No, we were just talking about keys to New England.
Okay.
Winning.
So the question is, just to turn it on the quarterbacks, because that's the big thing. You got Drake May, young quarterback, and you got Sam Darnold, who's a veteran. Has been around, I think, 5 teams. I think this is like his 5th stop, and he's done very well his last 2 years, 28-6. But there's always that where everyone's waiting for that Darnold moment, And who do you think has the most pressure? Do you think it's New England quarterback Drake May, or do you think Darnold is carrying the most pressure? Because pressure sometimes can make you do some things you don't want to do. So, Jeff, who do you think is under the most pressure at quarterback right now for this game?
For their team to win, I'm going to say Sam Darnold, because there's going to be more expected of him and more that Seattle's going to need him to do in order for them to be successful. So I think what Greg said earlier is true. Mike Vrabel, he knows he has a second-year quarterback out there. And he's going to do everything he can to protect him. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to probably screens and draws early in the down, try to set them up for third and short, third and manageable. Hey, if they're in man, don't even worry about running the ball. Everyone's run for the first down, slide, done. I think they're going to ask him to do less than managed. But Sam Darnold, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against that 3-4 of New England. So he's going to have to get the ball out. I just think he has better matchups, wide receiver to cornerback. And I think one of my keys to that really is, like, first of all, you got to get the ball to JSN early and often. Yeah. Right. If the game's close, he should get the ball 8 plus or 10 plus times. If it's not that close, he still should touch the ball 8 plus times. But it is Rashid Shaheed versus Carlton Davis. I'm gonna tell you what. If I get him one-on-one, I'm going on over the top for Rashid Davis or Rashid Shaheed every single time.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I like the weapons that Seattle has, but Vrabel can scheme it up that may confuse Sam Darnold, but I think Sam Darnold has to do more.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. Greg, your thoughts? But I mean, how many times do you think you're going to hear the word ghost be mentioned? Do you think they're going to mention that
10 times? 10 times.
Yeah.
What do you think, Greg?
The commentators bring up ghosts to fill up airspace because they always do. They need something to talk about. But Darnold is going to have the most pressure, and I say that because everybody looked at Darnold with Minnesota and they said, "Oh, Darnold's coming back, and Darnold's going to finally be mature." And then the next season, then they get in the playoffs and they lose. Then they get rid of Darnold, and now everybody think, "Okay, it's the same old Darnold." And they were thinking about the same thing about Darnold all season long this year until he proved himself against the Rams 3 times. That's what really solidified it for most people, 3 times. However, still, after all of that, everybody's still thinking Darnold is a Cinderella and they're waiting for the slipper to fall off. And this Super Bowl, he has the most pressure because it's easy. If Darnold shines and they win, okay, Darnold's back, Darnold's matured, he's one of the elite for now. If they don't, they're going to say, he got him to the Super Bowl, he did this, but Darnold is who we think he is. The slipper fell off. Drake's not going to have much pressure on him at all. He's a young quarterback, second year, made it to the Super Bowl. The pressure isn't on him. It's on Darnold. And if Darnold gets that ball out without turning it over, without throwing risky passes where the corners are basically disguising themselves and shoot up there real quick and intercept the ball, if he gets that ball out and he makes connection with his receivers early, it's going to be a long day for New England because then he can switch it up and they can run the ball on the outside. I wouldn't recommend trying to run it up the middle all the time, even though they're going to try it because they need to see if it's successful. Run on the outside, get those short screens. But if he gets that ball down the field, Rashid, he gets it down to JSN, they are going to have a long day, those Patriots are, because they're not going to be able to stop that passing game. That is the antidote for the Seahawks to have them to lose is to stop their passing game, which is undeniable at this point. They remind me of the Rams, the way their passing game is. So it's undeniable, but he has to be perfect because Darnold can have a game where everything goes wrong for him. And you believe the ghost will be coming out by the media all game long.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Drake. I'm sorry, I was texting Eugene. He's still trying to figure it out. You look at Drake May, and it could be a situation of, Dan Marino. Remember Dan Marino? He got to the Super Bowl like second year, and you think you're going to get back, and
he didn't make it
back. So you got to really capitalize on the opportunities. Okay, he said he should be okay, about 10 minutes. All right. So you got to really capitalize on those opportunities. And that's the most important thing, for the Patriots. I like Vrabel. I think that gives them an edge. But McDonald's he's had a couple good years. He's doing pretty well with the Seattle team. So it's going to be interesting to see the matchup and see how they really play, because I think if you're being honest with yourself, Seattle is the better team, man for man across the board. I think Seattle is a better team, but you know how it is, man. You just got to be the better team that day.
That's right.
And you're talking about the New England Patriots. They went through the regular season. They beat one team with a winning record. But they go to the playoffs and they win. And none of them were pretty. I mean, a lot of turnovers. And that's what I'm wondering, because I didn't really watch a lot of New England game because I don't really watch a lot of the AFC. But the games I watched were in the playoffs. I'm like, how is this team in the Super Bowl? I mean, yeah, they won, but God, it was just bad football week after week. So I'm a little biased because that's what I see. So I think Seattle should blow them out, but the line is only 4.5. And I'm like, what are we missing? What is going on what does Vegas know that we don't? What do you think, Jeff? I mean, do you think it should be a blowout, or, I mean, are we missing something?
Oh, I think it's going to be a blowout. I know where I'm putting my money. So if that's what the line is, all day, I'm putting my money on Seattle, and I'm not even going to think twice about it. I don't think, I'm like you. I've watched New England just a handful of times. They seem like they've benefited from the circumstances. Now, I think at this juncture, any team makes their own luck.
Yeah.
And I think that between the coach and the players on that team, they've made a lot of luck. But they've also played good, solid, all-around ball. I don't put anything past Vrabel. I think he's one of the best to coach right now. But I think this may be a bridge too far for him, because this Seattle team has talent on different layers, and I don't believe that I don't think that they're going to be able to shield Drake May entirely and get him and get the game where he doesn't have to be a factor.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, as soon as they get down a couple touchdowns, in my opinion, all right, well, Drake May, now you got to come out and have to throw that ball. And then we're going to have some conversation about some ghosts.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a blowout too. I really do hope it's a blowout. But at the same time, New England's history in the Super Bowl, they haven't blown people out.
Nope.
But they've been the underdog, and the underdog has prevailed quite a bit in the Super Bowl. And it's like, how did they do this? No way they should be winning this game, or no way they should be this close and taking it down to a winning score. But they've been able to do it in every one of their Super Bowls. And the only one that was really dramatic, which will go down in history, is against the Atlanta Falcons, when Atlanta sat back and partied at halftime and the game wasn't over. But that's the only way, that's the only little nervous twitch I have about this game, is that New England has never gone into a Super Bowl and got blown out. And even in the Super Bowls where they were not picked to win, they either found a way to win, or they kept it so close it came down to the last drive. And Vrabel was part of those teams. And Vrabel is a smart coach, a smart schemer. And he knows what it's going to take in order to match that firepower and that defense from Seattle. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if New England comes out with something a little bit different, and they look a little stronger than what we expected them to look like, because of Vrabel's experience of being in those games in the Super Bowl against teams like that. And then the only thing I think that most of the world who's watching the game is going to be concerned about is, Darnold, are you going to show up like you did in the playoffs? If you do, it shouldn't be a question, because with what he does in this game compared to what he did in the playoffs, I don't see anybody beating him.
Yeah.
But if for some reason he slips even a quarter, all of a sudden his confidence is going to start to erode a little bit in the biggest game. And now he might start taking risks, unnecessary risks that he doesn't need to be taking when it comes to passing and giving away free interceptions. And that can change the entire concept of the ball game.
Oh, yeah. Turnovers in these games are always key. And what's key now is we're getting to that point where we're going to kind of give our predictions and kind of see where it's at. And then we're going to move on to some Cowboys talk, some NFL talk. Eugene is about 10 minutes out. If you can get this thing working, I don't know what's going on with him, but we got Uncle Cheech in the house. You guys who aren't familiar with Uncle Cheech, he's our Vegas Insider. He is fresh. I think he was in Vegas this week to get a pulse. You know, I got to get a pulse of what Vegas is all about. Where's the betting going to be? Where's the line should be? Should we we take that chance and put it on the Patriots, or is it going to be a blowout like we expect? I don't understand how the line's 4.5. Maybe he can give us some insight. So let's see if I can get this right. Let's see. We can add him to the stage. All right, I got to fix something right quick. We got to fix something right quick. You got to move. Got to move him over. Move him over. What's up, Uncle Cheech? How you doing?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Everything going well? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, Greg, Jeff, you guys all good?
Yep.
Good.
All right, I'm just fixing, so I don't want to get Uncle Cheech cut out because then he's gonna end up trying to ice me out or something like that. I don't want no trouble.
No, hey, I got my phone ready. I can ready to do my bets right now.
We're gonna get Uncle Cheech and see what he's thinking.
That's
So,
what I'm saying.
Uncle Cheech, first of all, how are you doing? How was Vegas? Did you go out did you make a trip to California to get a feel of what it's like in San Francisco, or did you just stay in Vegas? What's a good word?
Yeah, I think it's on Vegas. It's more people are leaning towards the Seahawks as far as the betting goes.
And what do you attribute this line? This 4.5. It opened at 5.5. Now it's at 4.5. Does that worry you?
Somebody must know something. I tried to dig in. I couldn't get any information. Everybody's been pretty quiet on the in the background there. So
Yeah.
I can't understand why it's that low either. But unless somebody knows something.
Do you give what chance do you give? Are you giving New England in this game?
Well, I agree with Jeff there. If all depends, I think turnovers, what's going to make the difference. If New England can force a few turnovers, they can make a game of it. If they don't, it could be just like last year's game.
You could get real ugly. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Greg. Sorry, Greg.
Greg. All right. Well, let's
Jeff, it's early in the morning. I
know. Well, we're here. Hey, look, we're here. Let the people know real quick, and then I want to get Greg and Jeff's thoughts on it as well. Let the people know kind of what you're about. You know, you come to the cave a couple years ago. We worked on some negotiations to get you here. You've made a lot of people some scud all over the years. You made some money. You run through the gambling. So a lot of people are gambling today. Today's the biggest gambling day. First of all, I know you have some rules, very important rules in gambling, but maybe break those down and give the people a little background of your history and the success that you have in this business.
Well, the main thing is don't chase your losses. Don't lose more than you can afford to lose. And don't gamble when you're drunk.
That is
Don't drink and gamble. That's the main thing. You take unnecessary chances that in your right mind you normally wouldn't take.
Yeah.
Just that simple. I had a real good year this year. I started off with a bang in college. 12 upsets in a row. 12.
Went outright.
That's about all of them were outright. And, as the year gets on, you kind of break even a little bit, but I was probably at about 75% this year again.
That's good.
Because I don't play parlays. I bet one team. I stay away from the parlays and these crazy things. Joe's going to have the first touchdown. This one's going to rush for 4 yards. Mm-hmm. All that other shit they want you to bet on. So that's how I make money. You know, people do it. They say, I said, well, no, that's how I do it. It's a formula I've had for years. Been successful. I haven't worked in 60 years.
Well, this is a job. You're a professional. You're a professional when it comes
to it. And it worked for you.
That's right.
I'm disciplined.
You got to be disciplined.
You got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Don't ever bet your heart.
Facts.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
That got me a few times.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people do.
But anyway, that's the way I
got y'all kind of recently, if I'm not mistaken.
But I mean, Jeff, I got to ask you, Cowboys 7.5 over beginning of the year, and we're going to get into the Cowboys a little later. I mean, should I have seen the signs, or was I like, they won 7 games with Cooper Rush last year?
Yeah, so here's what I would have said at the beginning of the season. I didn't like that bet, but after Thanksgiving, after that Philly and Chiefs, I was like, you home free.
Yeah.
And then, lost Lions, lost Vikings, just fell apart down the stretch. That was just bad ball.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
And you know what scares me about that 7? Remember at the beginning of pregame at the beginning of the season, even before the season, we were talking about ain't nowhere in the world Dallas won't win 7 games. That's because of that situation, and Dallas didn't. It makes me wonder about this bet with New England because of stuff like that. And it really makes you wonder, what do these people in Vegas know that we don't know? And of course, because of that Dallas situation, the conspirators came out. Oh my God, the NFL is rigged, blah, 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 blah. And you know it, if you repeat it over and over, people will believe it. And there's a lot of people out there believing it. And I think that's what's scaring a lot of people about this game, is if those odds like that at the beginning of the season turned out to be true, then what is it about this New England thing on the betting side that got everybody scared in Vegas? Are the Patriots going to play another real close Super Bowl like they normally do and pull it out with a field goal, or what? Or will they get the points? So I think that's what got people nervous, because everybody's watching this game cannot say, even though they think the Seattle's going to win this game outright, they can't say they're not a little nervous.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably rigged. When you lose.
And I'm gonna admit this to Uncle Cheech. I broke rule number 3 on your list, or was it 3 or 4? Don't drink and gamble, because I was on the fence with this. We went out and we started at 12 o'clock, and I didn't get home till 9. We're bar hopping around, and about 7 o'clock, I did a transfer in my Hard Rock Bet app, and I laid some decent money down on Seattle. So I sure hope that because I was like, I'm not touching this game. I don't trust this line. I've just got bad vibes on it. But like you said, sometimes when you drink, you don't think clearly. Mm-hmm. And hopefully I didn't make a mistake.
You're drinking the wrong thing. That's what it is. You're drinking the wrong thing.
I talked to the Whale yesterday. He gave 5.5. So it went down a point from when he bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that 1 point makes the difference between winning and losing, or half a point.
Yeah, that's right. Money
in your pocket or money out. Either way.
Well, that's why, like what Greg said, I mean, they're notorious for these 3-point Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 points is going to get New England to cover, or to with the points going to win, and Seattle's not going to cover, and I'm going to be in trouble. So
Belichick ain't there anymore.
Say what?
Belichick's not there anymore.
No, I know. Speaking of, while I got you on, Uncle Cheech, you're an old timer. Jeff, I didn't get your opinion because you were we didn't talk on Thursday, but the whole Hall of Fame, and Belichick aside, I know we've kind of got that, but I'm watching. Am I being unfair that I'm sitting there watching Adam Vinatieri get in the Hall of Fame, but I'm looking at Darren Woodson, or even a Jason Witten, or you can throw some other names out there, and they're not in the Hall of Fame? A kicker. Now, granted, he made some big kicks, but he played like 24 years, and I think he was top 5 percentage in a season 5 times out of all those years he was a kicker. So, yeah, you remember the big moments, but are the big moments outweigh the beating out like a Darren Woodson or Jason Witten, who's on the field just wrecking havoc and putting their body on the line? I mean, this guy's job is to kick. There's not a lot of kickers in the Hall of Fame. But, Jeff, what's your thoughts? And maybe go around to Uncle Cheech and Greg. I mean, am I out of line criticizing, making Vinatieri be my fall guy for why Darren Woodson or Jason Witten didn't get in the Hall of Fame?
Are you biased? Yes.
Yes, of course.
Obviously. Because we're talking about comparing him to Cowboy greats. That being said, I think Vinatieri belongs because of how long he kicked, but also the big kicks that he made when he did.
Yeah.
But the problem that I'm having is there's no reason. If you look at Darren Woodson and put him up against other safeties that are in the Hall of Fame, just because he wasn't flashy should not be held against him, and it is. And I have a problem with that. I mean, there's not many safeties who were corners turned safeties who were just as good playing strong safety as they were playing free safety, who could go lock up a slot receiver or lock up a 6'6" tight end. Like, he was a different breed, and the lack of appreciation for his level of talent to me bothers me. In my opinion, I think they need to take it away from the press. They shouldn't be voting for who goes in the Hall. Let the Hall of Famers vote on that, because they know who does what. They know who's the most valuable people on the field. Take it away from these people sitting there just writing, man. Take it away from them altogether. It pisses me off at this point. Give it to the people that are in the Hall and let them vote for it, because they know what is what.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Now you got me mad already.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with him 100%. What the hell these people at the press know? They were never on the field. I think it's a disgrace. I'm not even going to watch the Hall of Fame thing this year because of what they did to Belichick.
Yeah,
well, and the thing is, they make it personal, right? So if you're not like, I'll give you these examples, and a lot of it's media driven. You know, Leroy Butler was loved in Green Bay, and he was he got a lot of stuff. John Lynch, I lived in Tampa his whole career. These two, Butler and Lynch, they played with Woodson, same pretty much era. John Lynch was loved in Tampa. He was the captain. He was the media darling and everything like that. And Woodson was kind of that quiet guy. He wasn't until later on, but he was overcome by the triplets, right? I mean, they're going to take over most of the media, most of the hype and this and that. So he never got the press that some of these other guys got, which created a problem. So they look at it, they look at the optics instead of looking at the merits on the field and what these guys accomplished on the field, the impact they had on the field. That's my problem with the media. And then, oh, by the way, they didn't like the way Belichick talked to him. They didn't like the way this. They didn't like the way that. So, oh, yeah, we're going to stick it to the guy. And then some guy comes out. I don't know if you guys saw this. So he came out and he said he didn't vote for Belichick, and he blamed it on he thought that Roger Craig or these guys, it was their last year, which that shouldn't have any bearing on who you're voting for. It's the best guys that you think. But I don't know. It really bothered me.
It's actually against their policy.
Yes.
They're not supposed to vote people in because they're not going to make it or they're going to fall off. They are supposed to vote for the people who deserve it the most year after year. So the people who said that are going completely against the direction that the Hall of Fame actually gives them when they're voting people in.
Yeah. Well, I've always said none of these writers should ever have votes. And, I always use my example, Peter King, and what he said about Chris Carter and why he didn't vote for him, which was personal. And the players and coaches should be the only ones making these decisions. And all of these players, like Jeff just brought up the example about voting for somebody because it'll be their last year. Well, first of all, there should never be a limit on how long a person can be eligible before they get cut off, period. Because their career is in the history books forever. So however long it takes to get them there should be. But what they should have done was brought a lot of these older players up in the Hall of Fame already, because it's become, like I said, in the late 90s, I noticed the majority of the people getting voted in are either first ballot Hall of Famers or a couple of years down the line. And they got away from the 80s when they start bringing these players in from back in the 70s and 60s that belong in there. And then next thing you know, fewer and fewer and fewer of those guys were being recognized. Then like, oh, by the way, they bring one up who's already deceased. I'm tired of that. Players and the coaches should be the only ones voting. This one was a travesty. Five people, when you had room to bring in other players. And then you bring in an older player when you should have had at least 3 of them. There should not be a limit. If you want to make a limit, start at 10. And then in those 10, you make sure there's at least 3 players from older decades that need to be brought into the Hall of Fame. It is totally ridiculous. All of these media people that have a votes don't know a damn thing about football, probably never played flag football either. They need to sit their behind down and continue writing. It's always personal with them. It's personal. And they have no idea what these guys did on the field when it wasn't artificial turf, when the uniforms and the gear wasn't safe, and the fields were harder and the conditions were worse, and how you can knock somebody out and get away with it. What these guys endured during those times, all that should be recognized. So as soon as they revamp this and bring players and coaches in, then you'll start getting it right. Until then, it's going to be a fiasco.
Yep. Yeah. Too many journalists got their feelings and stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I see Eugene he's working. So Eugene, hang tight 1 minute. I think he got it working. We're going to get Uncle Cheech. We're going to wrap this up and get the prediction. So Uncle Cheech, what are we looking at? What are we looking at with Cowboys? Or excuse me, I wish we were at the Super Bowl.
Right?
Seattle and New England. Seattle and New England.
You got us all excited there, Mike.
I know. What do you got?
I think Seattle, unless New England forces some turnover, they win by 3 scores.
Wow. Well, I hope you're right. Otherwise, I made a bad choice.
I think the defense will be too much for them. And that's if it's a clean game.
Yeah.
But like I said, injuries, turnovers, a lot could determine it. That's why a lot of people lose when they gamble. Things happen.
Absolutely. Any disagreement by Jeff or Greg?
No, that's what I'm hoping. That's exactly what I'm hoping for.
I said Seattle wins by 2 touchdowns.
All right. Well, Uncle Cheech, we appreciate you coming in. Anyone, it's football season's over, so it's a sad day, but we'll be checking in with Uncle Cheech during the off season. But he will be back next season better than ever. He's on our live shows on Monday, but he may pop in on these Sunday shows as we get rolling, give you game day, any changes he makes. That way you got game day injuries, things happen. So definitely, hopefully you'll be back next season, Uncle Cheech. Looking forward to it.
All right, you guys enjoy the game.
All right,
thank you, sir.
Don't drink much if you're going to gamble.
No,
right.
The thing, I just got to say one thing real quick. The way the gambling is today from when I was coming up.
Yeah.
You can call in just like that on anything while the game's going on.
I know.
I know.
Back then, you couldn't do that. You called a bookmaker, and that was the end of it. So it's so easy now. So the drunker you get, the more chances you're going to take.
Yeah.
Bad enough you're going to miss work tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that.
All right, guys. You have a good one. Enjoy the game.
All right, we'll see. All right. Well, I think we got it worked out. I think we got it worked out.
There you go.
In the house.
Oh, man.
Come on, Eugene.
There he is.
What's up, fellas?
Oh, what is up, Eugene?
You're hungry.
Man, are you hungry, baby?
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, this gotta be today is just an exciting day, man. I woke up this morning, man, and knowing that the Super Bowl is coming on today, man, and I tell you what, even though the Cowboys are not in there, I'm talking about the energy. I turned the TV on, man. They're talking about the Super Bowl and what's going on now, and who's going to expect to win, and the different players and all of that. This shit is exciting, man. I'm talking about this is it. And I tell you what, the best thing about this whole day is that you get to come on the Mike Tag Show. We get to go into the Cowboys Cave. And you know what? I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. And I'm hungry for some of this shit. Yes, sir.
Well, hey, Eugene, I don't know if you met Jeff. Jeff's another member of the Cowboys Cave family, so we're growing and want to
What's up, Big Jeff?
How you doing?
I'm fine and wine in the summertime and sweeter than July jam.
I hear you. Hey, that's the energy I need today.
Yes,
the energy
sir.
I need.
The hit machine's gonna bring it, baby.
Yes, sir. Hey, boy. Hey, you look good in that 56, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lord.
I gotta rep you.
You make me want to get up and make me want to get out in my stance this morning, man. I'm trying to find something to hit.
Speaking of, what is your thoughts? Have you been paying attention to the Cowboys in the offseason with the defensive coordinators, getting young Christian Parker, getting some young defensive coaches, trying to getting outside the norm of what the Cowboys do, going with the same old retread coaches they're familiar with? They've really kind of gotten outside of the box of their comfort zone and bringing in some young guys. What is your thoughts on some of the coaching moves that they made? Do you think they can be impactful. Obviously, we got to be aggressive in free agency and draft, but what's your overall observations of what you're seeing the Cowboys doing with the defensive coaches?
I tell you, Mike, I'm excited for Christian Parker because I've known him, I've met him a couple times, and the guy is extremely aggressive. He's intelligent, but and all the other defensive guys that they're bringing them around and this, that, and other. I think they have completely cleaned houses for defensive wise and brought in some new energy. These guys are the kind of coaches that we need that's going to hold these guys accountable. Okay, they're not going to play just no zone. They're not going to play man to man. They're going to bring a structure where it fits all the players that they have. And I tell you what, the most important thing that I like about them is and they don't play. These guys are like the Belichicks. They're like the Parcells. These guys want to win, and the thing is, they know how to win. The main thing is we have to give them the pieces. You still got to give them the pieces that they need in order to be successful. Again, we can rebuild this thing right now. If it ever was a great time for the Dallas Cowboys to say, I'm all in, we all in, it's right now. You got a great class that's as far as free agency. Look at that. You got Trey Hendrickson out there. You got all these different guys, edge rushers. You got some linebackers out there. Pick up those guys. The number one thing that you have to do is take care of George Pickens. Take care of Pickens and then work on this defense. We know we need an edge rusher and we know we need linebackers. You can get those guys in free agency, and then you got the 12th and the 20th. If there was ever time for the Cowboys to do anything, they've done the first good thing, and they brought in great defensive guys that care, and that they're not going to be listening to all of this petty BS. These guys want to win. They have something to prove, and they got to win.
No,
Damn, this is exciting to be on Mike Tag. I love you guys. I love being on this show.
I don't want you cutting out on us, so find your spot. I know you get excited and you're ready to go all over the place, so just stay there.
Okay, Mike. Okay.
Jeff,
I got a spot.
I know. Jeff, you got any questions?
Nah, questions. Shoot. No, I love the energy because we were struggling earlier with the Patriots and the Seahawks and the lack of marquee names and marquee, but you bringing that energy. So now I'm getting excited about the Super Bowl. Now I'm getting excited about what I'm about to see on the field. I don't think it's going to be a close game. And to what Uncle Cheech said earlier, I don't see, even if Darnold doesn't play great, what I've seen from Darnold is he can throw 4 interceptions in a game and still come back and beat a quality team. Yeah. So if he just plays within the system, the pieces that they have around them, I just don't see it being close. That Seattle team is built, and it's built very, very well. I don't see the Patriots being able to match up with them consistently through 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you real quick, Eugene, and then Greg asks. So you played in New England. You had a little time there,
right?
So, are you rooting for New England? I was just curious. Do you have any allegiances to New England, or you don't really care? I was just curious.
No, not really. I really don't have any allegiance. I was just only there for 2 years, and that was when the Patriots wasn't very, very good.
And it was cold.
I was on the downside of my career, and I'm trying to just make some money and hurry up and get the hell out of there because it was cold. All right, because I'm from down south. It was cold, and I think the thing that helped me to hurry up and get out was I had talked to my son. And they was growing up. They getting ready to play football. I said, "Dad, you played enough football. Come on home." That's all it took for me to get out of New England. So no. I have no allegiance to the Patriots. I appreciate them to giving me the opportunity to finish my career there and come back and retire with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. But the thing about this game is it makes you wonder which one is going to show up. But I can tell you this: that Seattle defense is second to none. They remind me of the Houston Texans defense. Those are the two best defenses I've seen this year in the league. And the thing about it is, Sam Darnold don't have to win the game. He don't have to win the game. The game is going to be won on defense. Defense wins championships. We hear it all the time, right?
Yep.
Seattle has the type of defense that can change a game in an instance. They have pressure. They have scheme. And let me throw this in. I'm so happy for DeMarcus Lawrence.
Hell
you
yeah.
know, and isn't it amazing how a guy leaves the Cowboys, go to another team, and you end up in a championship? Sometimes it makes you wonder, do they really know talent? Because this guy was extremely talented with the Cowboys, but you found that he wasn't useful anymore, but you send him off and he goes and have another all-pro season.
Shades of DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
Man, and again, I just believe there has to be some things that's done in the front office, whereas they know exactly what they have, and before they get rid of all these good players, man, see if you can rebuild something with these guys. But I'm just so happy for him. And we know that he made a play last week or so because of his football knowledge, right? Now, he's a defensive end. He was supposed to be rushing. He's supposed to be coming off that end. But you know what happened? He saw that back come out of the backfield real fast, right? He knew there was nobody based on coverage. He knew that nobody was going to be in the flat. So instead of rushing, he takes the back out of the backfield. That's football IQ. That's football IQ. That's football. Those are the type of players that we need. We don't need a defense whereas the linebackers and the defensive backs are not on the same coverage. We saw that so many times with Dallas this year. All these guys are wide open and they're looking around to see why you didn't get him. So another thing that's going to be good about Parker coming here is everybody's going to be on the same page. And when you have continuity and when you have 11 guys on defense, that the theory becomes, meet me at the ball, baby. Meet me at the ball. When you have 11 guys trying to have a party at the football every single play, you have a defense that's unstoppable, man. This is awesome.
No, I'm looking forward to the change. What else you got, Greg or Jeff?
Yeah, and that's absolutely right with Tank. Jerry mentioned something during the season, and I think y'all remember when he said, I basically came to the conclusion the problem with our Cowboys is management, meaning himself. And I said halfway during the season, I said, if he really means that means he'll start making some small changes as far as his management style to change things and show that he's not only speaking about his problems and the fact that he's accountable, that he's doing something about it. This offseason, with the hiring of these typical coaches that he did, this type of coaching staff shows that maybe he's getting it. Maybe the message is resonating within himself, that he's getting the right coaches to get us where we need to be. And the DeMarcus Lawrence situation was just poetic justice, because now after seeing what DeMarcus Lawrence did with Seahawks, after him calling his shot when he left Dallas, now Jerry has to look back, not only look at his management style and said, you mean I had a diamond in the rough that I washed off and he still had the skills to do what he had to do, smart enough to play the game, and I let him go? When in fact, he goes not 2 years later, the very next season, and he's going to the Super Bowl, and he showed me during the season what I didn't have the coaches to scheme him into doing. And he did it with them under that coaching, and he did it based on his knowledge. So with that, these coaches that Jerry hired, these are the perfect type coaches that can the players we got to bring them to that level. The only thing that we're all going to be concerned about is Jerry going to do something in this offseason to sabotage it all? Sabotage it all with one major mistake, because every year he does it, and I proclaim that every year Jerry does one thing to sabotage our potential success. If he stays quiet in the offseason, if he handles his business with Pickens, lets those coaches and Shotty get together in the war room during the draft and free agency selection, we will be fine. We are that damn close to being.
You're right about that.
This season.
You're right. You're right about that. And let me say this as Jeff was talking. Jerry said what he said. And when he was saying about the coaches and some things had to change, management had to change. We know at that time when we were saying that, he was so disappointed in Eberflus and that defense. He had to say that. He was telling us then that I'm getting ready to fire his ass. Mm-hmm. He was telling us then. He was telling us then that he's getting ready to make some changes, because I don't even think Jerry believed in the defense after a period of time, because he started to make those different changes. And the thing that I'm happy about is that it didn't take him long to make a choice. He went out there and he did it right now. So we want him to do the same thing that he did with bringing these coaches in right now, so they can get the necessary knowledge that each one of them bring, and they can put it all together starting right now. Then they'll be able to talk about the kind of players that they need, the kind of players that that take for them to be successful.
Yeah.
He did a good job doing that. But man, so I've just heard yesterday that they're going to a franchise tag
Pickens.
They're gonna franchise tag him. Now that's not gonna set well with Pickens. That's not gonna go well. But you franchise tag him because I guess you needed to right now.
Yeah.
But you need to give this guy
still sign him long term. Yeah.
You got to get this guy a long-term deal. And the thing about it also, Dak said, if I need to get involved, if I need to take less money, if I need to do this, everybody on this damn football team, everybody that's a Cowboy fan knows that this guy and these guys, these tandem that we have with these guys is one of the best. So you start right there. You got an offense that will have 31 points per game, but you was giving up 32.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to get that. You got to take care of it. I don't care what kind of fool he may act off the field every once in a while, but he acts a damn fool on that football field every Sunday that he gets out there. So wait, what do you want? Look at Charles Haley. He act crazy all the time. Look at Michael Irvin. Look at T.O. Look at all of these guys. Dez Bryant. These guys have the same kind of mentality, but every single one of them is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Thank you.
I tell you, woo.
We could not have said it better. I mean, and that's going to be really the key, is get him to a long-term deal. Then they're going to free up more money, but they've got to be active in free agency. They cannot rely on the draft, because the Cowboys don't have a ton of draft picks. Yeah, you got your 2 1s, but you don't have a 2 or a 3. So they're limited on their draft picks unless they maneuver some of that around. But if they're active in free agency, it gives them a lot of flexibility. So let me ask you, Eugene, you what is going on? I mean, we hadn't seen you in a game. We're going to get you back. I know we did our pregame shows. We did a lot of fun stuff. But what are you up to these days? Tell everybody. I know you're doing some signings, some meet and greets. You're kind of mixing it up with people. What's going on with the hit machine these days? What you got going on?
Well, I'll tell you, man. I've been doing a lot of podcasts, and things are really looking really good for me. I'm sitting here. I just bought this new house, and I'm excited about furnishing it. But I tell you one thing about buying a house is this. I done looked at so much damn furniture that it's all starting to look alike. Okay? I don't even want to go look no more. I'm talking about for real. If I could get somebody to go to my backyard and build me some shit, that would be okay with me. Okay? But as far as doing that, we had a great, man. God is so good. He's so good. We had one of the best years. You know, I've been doing my feeding the homeless and the turkey drive for 29 years. This year, we fed over 6,300 people at Thanksgiving, just Thanksgiving. At Christmas, I partnered with Toys for Tots. We went to 2 children's hospitals, Denton County and Collin County. We went to St. Jude's Hospital, and I partnered with the first responders, the fire department, the police department. We did parades around the hospital because the kids couldn't come out. And so the kids knew they had organized it to the point where all the kids was looking out the window at the parade. And man, to be able to be grand marshal and watching these kids and the excitement of these kids, we gave away 8,600 toys this year.
Wow.
for Christmas. And man, it was just the most heart-wrenching. It just let me know how good God has been to me. Just to be able to have a platform and give me the heart to give back the way that He's blessed me with. I'm just elated to see what this year has to bring. I know God is going to truly bless us tremendously, but man, I tell you what, in this time in the country that we living in, we see so many things that's going on out there. The Venezuela, the people getting killed, and all this thing. But forget that. Let us get together and make a difference in other people's lives, because we've been blessed. We can be a blessing to other people, and that's where we get our joy from. I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I love football. You guys know I love football. You know, I love to bring the energy, but the energy that I have right now is going to carry me through the rest of this year is to watch and see how God blesses us tremendously by just giving back and just being a good servant of God and not to be served.
Yeah. No, couldn't have said it better, man. Couldn't have said it better. And we, like I said, we love having Eugene in the cave, the tailgate party. That, I mean, it is going to be off the hook. I know you're going to be out there again. We had such a great time. And then hopefully we get some of the, the pregame shows that we did and get you guys an opportunity to meet some former Dallas Cowboys. Because I always say, these are the guys that paved the way for the NFL. When you're looking at the Eugene Lockhart, the Too Tall Jones, the Randy Whites, the Danny Whites, the Everson Walls, the Mel Renfros, and Tony Dorsett, those guys, they paved, that generation paved the way to what the NFL is today. So it is good to see you out there. I know you're doing a lot of meet and greets, and you're doing some autograph signings around Texas, with all the great legends. So definitely love seeing what's happening in your life, man. It's all good.
I had a chance to meet. I was with Jim Jeffcoat and Mel Renfro yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And Mel just turned like 83, 84 years old. And so it's barely like getting around, but he looks absolutely wonderful. And again, this and just to pick his brain, just to sit down and pick his brain a little bit. And I asked him the question, what do you think the Cowboys need to do? He said, stop. So when he said stop, he didn't say anything else. I say, what are you talking about? He said, we can't stop nobody. He just said stop. And then he went on to elaborate. He said, I don't care what you do. If you can score 100, but if they don't score 101, it don't matter what you do. Then he went on to say, the game has changed so different than when we played, because we had passion when we played. We had camaraderie together. The one thing that I wish I could see with the Cowboys would be this, that they come together as a group, a defensive group or an offensive group, where they watch film together, where they go out together. Whatever they do it together. Whereas they And then people can see it when they come together on this football team because they're fighting for one common denominator, and that's to be victorious. And if we can get that off the field as well as on the field, instead of people talking about each other and on their little small podcasts and off the field and things like that, those type of things like that turns up a football team.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, okay? Because we all have to be on the same page. And that's why this Cowboy Cave show is so great. We're on the same page. We talk the same language. We know what we're talking about. We see it, and we give the people exactly what they need. We give them Cowboy knowledge through experiences and through our love for the game.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
Yeah.
absolutely, man. Well, definitely. I know
Damn,
you got
Eugene, that was good.
Hey, we'll get it.
Give me somebody that's hungry.
That's what we need.
I need somebody.
We need somebody. But Eugene, it is good to see you back in the cave, and I know you got
Yes,
lots
sir.
of time, but we're gonna get you back in after the season, off season, and definitely pick your brain some more as we hopefully end this drought going on 31 years. We can get back into the Super Bowl. I never thought it would be that long, but definitely appreciate it, man. Love you. And
at the tailgate party, you gotta sign this for me.
Hey, baby, you know it. Hey,
There you go.
yes, sir. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a happy new year. You guys be careful out there. And remember, go hard, baby. Go hard all the time. And you got to wake up hungry, go to bed hungry. Always be hungry for the best in your life. Is anybody in the cave hungry?
I'm
Yes,
hungry.
I know
Are
this
you
whole game is
hungry?
hungry.
I'm hungry.
Are you hungry?
I'm hungry. We're
Give me
hungry,
some.
everybody.
Well, let's go eat, baby. Let's eat, baby. Let's eat.
All right, love you, brother. I'll see you, man. Take care.
All right,
Good to
guys.
see you again, Eugene.
I mean, that gets you pumped up, right? Does that
Yeah,
get
it
you
does.
pumped up?
Every
Get
time, every
Eugene
time.
hit machine. I mean, that gets you wanting to watch this Super Bowl, but more importantly, it gets you wanting the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I got to ask, and you guys in the chat definitely love all the people that are hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe. I know this Super Bowl Sunday's a busy day. You guys all have all options, so we've got so many people that are been checking in and out. Definitely love it. When you watch this thing, you see Seattle, you see New England. New England won 4 games. Seattle was, I forgot what they won, but they were struggling too last year. Turn it around that quick, and they're in the Super Bowl. Does this make you kind of angry as a Cowboys fan, or does this say, hey, you know what? This can happen quickly. Does it give you more hope? Jeff, when you see this, what does it kind of do for your mentality as a Cowboys fan?
I guess middle of the season, I was disappointed because I'm looking at the NFL. There's no dominant team.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, this is a missed opportunity for us because there was no dominant team. You had a bunch of teams that looked good, but nobody that couldn't be beat.
Yeah.
From this perspective right now, and I'm going to touch on a little bit what Eugene said, it's about the accountability. That's kind of where my brain is right now. I want to see accountability within that team, right? I want to see Dak holding the offense accountable when our wide receivers run the wrong route, our front offensive line misses a blocking assignment, things of that nature. I want to see it definitely on the defensive side of the ball, right? Yes, I want them to be held accountable to the point where it's like, hey, you do that again, we're gonna have a problem in the locker room.
Yeah.
But then also, hey, put that hand around that shoulder and say, it's going to be okay, man. We trust in you. We have faith in you. We are in this together. That level of accountability, that's what I want to see from this team moving forward. I'm optimistic about what the Cowboys are doing right now. I'm optimistic about what we're going to see going into next year. But I want to see that leadership. I want to see the accountability on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it better. What do you think, Greg?
I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm gonna tell you why. After being a fan from 5 years old all the way up to now and seeing all this catastrophe with the Cowboys, and every year we talk about what happens in the offseason and we get excited. We're like, oh man, this is and you're never gonna hear me say this is our season. I'll never say that. You'll hear me say we look better, but you'll never hear me say, oh, we're going to Super Bowl this season. But I'm cautiously optimistic because, and y'all know where I'm taking this, every time I hear great positive news from us in the offseason, up to training camp, something happens by one entity that deters everything. And even though this season he's starting to show that he's starting to hold himself a little bit accountable, because the accountability is going to start from him.
Yeah.
And Shoddy and these coaches, I have no doubt that these coaches are going to hold themselves and the players accountable. So I'm not concerned about that. But the accountability at the top, with all this success so far in all season and the early signing of these coaches, and now another coach from Georgia, this
Muschamp.
That's a good sign. And then when we in free agency, if we make some good picks in the free agency, that's good. Then in the draft, we utilize those two positions for defense. That's good. But my caution is going to be, okay, when is the bubble going to bust? When is the drama going to happen? When is something going to fall out in the media? When is he going to wake up one day and he didn't take his medication and some shit's going to happen? Because that's where my optimism is. Because every year I get fired up about what we're doing, and then something busts my bubble. So I'm optimistic right now with what we're doing, that we're doing the right things from cradle to grave to prepare us to move forward. I mean, exponentially. But I'm still reserving that portion of me and not letting my excitement get overwhelmed, because you can blame me all you want, but I will be still sitting there expecting something to happen that's going to sabotage all of this, and it's going to be like I told you so.
So let me say this, Greg, and I completely understand why you feel that way and why you think like that. It's been a process for me to not think like that. The thing that I'm saying, like when I talk about accountability with the Cowboys, I'm talking about within that locker room, being able to block out all the other noise, to include Jerry, to include any coach that the players may be having an issue with, to include the Ed Werders who want to, in the past put things out there that really undermine the locker room. That's what I'm talking about, the leadership in the locker room. That's what I'm talking about, the accountability in the locker room, to be able to block out all that noise and focus on the job at hand. That's what I'm talking about. Because we got the star, baby. There's going to be something that comes around us.
Yeah.
But do you have the leaders that can handle that and lead everybody through it?
Yeah, and I get you on that. That, like I said, with the coaches and the players, I don't have a problem. I get you on that 1,000%. My concern is it only takes one person to destroy that entire mountain we're building, and he's done it every year. And unfortunately, no matter where everybody goes and accountability and this and that, it seems like he finds one way in 5 minutes to destroy it or set it back. And that's the only, and it's a good thing that I feel cautiously optimistic about everybody else doing their role and doing the right thing to get us where we are. My only cautious optimism is because of the one person. Not, are these players going to step it up? Is this defensive coordinator going to do this? Is Shoddy going to make good decisions? I don't even have any of that thought process in my mind that these guys aren't going to do the very best that they need to do for the right reasons, the right way. It's just that one person who has all the power. He has the ultimate power, and it doesn't trickle down through another associate. It comes straight from him, straight to the blender, and then the blender goes out. So if he stays quiet in this offseason and does this my next goal is the free agency. Do it early, do it quick, and make it quality, and include these coaches that we just got with Shoddy in the process. Mm-hmm. Then after that, the draft. If we can go each step, quiet, methodical, surgical, precise, Then my next concern is going to be, okay, let's get us to training camp. Get us to training camp, because that's when he really likes to get in front of the media. And if he says anything in the media, players, coaches, try to block it out and stay together. Long as he doesn't do something drastically with a player to either get rid of him or set him back or hold back. So right now it's sign Pickens, free agency, draft, and then training camp. And right now, each process, I'm going to be crossing my fingers. I'm going to be holding my breath. And we get through one. Okay, next.
Hey, so Mike, I never even answer your question. I'm actually optimistic. When I see the transformation in New England, even though they played a weak schedule, but more so when I see the transformation in Seattle.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't get a whole bunch of marquee signings. They methodically put together the right pieces for the right scheme, added the right depth, and they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so I think that we could absolutely do that with the right approach.
Yeah. And I think that's the key to free agency. I don't want people to get caught up in big names, but get caught up in the positions and how they fit the scheme and how much, because that's the thing. Cowboys are not going to be able to break the bank on free agency by any stretch, especially if they're going to re-sign Pickens to a long-term deal. But there's free agents out there that they can be very surgical.
Absolutely.
That fit the scheme. And you look at these coaches, all right? I mean, what's Parker? 34. I mean, he's young. He can relate. He's been on a good defense under Vic Fangio. So he's been under good defense, good tutelage, and he knows, he's got a track record. Then they get a guy that was on the Packers, and they get another guy that was on Philly, or they get a guy of the Chargers. They're getting guys that have a track record of success in defense, good teams that have had good defenses, and they're bringing them all together. It's not, oh, well, let's go see if we can get Zimmer and maybe my man Coach Campo, maybe we get him out, maybe we get him back here. And, so those are the things that you used to see traditionally with the Cowboys, is they would go back to the comfort level. And I like that they went younger, and I really like that I think Shoddy had influence, but I think Parker had influence on the type of coaches he wants for his scheme and what he believes the Cowboys are going to run. They're going to run a little bit of 3-4, maybe they run a little 4-3. I mean, they're going to be unpredictable. And I think the problem with the Cowboys, looking back at this last season, they were so predictable on defense. I mean, right? I mean, all of us can sit here and chat. All of us can sit here and call what they're going to be, doing. We knew exactly the coverage. And if we're sitting on the couch knowing, what do you think? I mean, highly, decorated coaches on these other teams, that what they saw. And it's like, to Eugene's point, is we could score 32, but if we give up 33, who really cares? And that's why you look at Seattle. They'll win 17-14. The Patriots defense is good. They'll win 10-7. I mean, damn well we weren't going to win any of those games.
No. And, and the thing is, like I said, and it's going to sound like a broken violin, but those teams had a general manager separate from the owner. And that general manager played a huge role in putting together that cluster of folks and the dichotomy of what it takes to bring everybody together, along with the coach, along with the coaches, from the general manager to the coach to the coaches, the culture that built and made that LB2, Legion of Boom 2. We are void of that general manager position, but the Parkers and the other coaches, Derek and Shoddy, they can make up for that in their voices, collectively together, going to Jerry and saying, this is collectively what we need to make this happen. And so far, with the way he's done this on coaches, it seems to appear he's open far more to listening and letting the reins loose a little bit than he has in the past. But each step of the way, he's going to gain a little bit more of my confidence if he continues to allow that. And Shoddy and these coaches have to sit in the room and say, listen, guys, it's us. Yeah. And when we walk out this room and we go talk to him, we need to be on the same damn page. And if we're on the same damn page, he'll listen to us collectively. And when it comes to free agency, he'll let those reins loose a little bit. And when it comes to the draft, He'll get our input a lot, but we have to be that way the entire time. And then when they go to the players, they're going to be their way. I have no doubt the players are going to respond to Parker, their coaching staff, and shotting them. I have no doubt that they're going to respond. And the keys that we bring in on free agency are going to be huge, huge in mentorship, huge in bringing that dog mentality, huge in helping to develop these guys' knowledge of the defense and how to be a team. So I have no doubt in all of that. And that's my excitement level about it, because I feel positive, very positive where we are right now. I'm in reserve about how long is this going to go before he wakes up and says, shit, this isn't me. I need to go back to where I don't like how things, I don't like it when everything's going good. So, and then remember he said something about, because I don't know, I would like to think this is my last time hiring a coach.
Yeah.
Because I may not be around to do that. So I'm hearing a tinkle of good things out of his mouth. I just need them to be followed up with hardcore action and consistently all the way up to training camp.
Yeah. And I think Aztec, I mean, I think that might be a new subscriber or just new to the chat. Appreciate it. I mean, he said we could all say as Cowboy fans, I'm not sure about Jerry this upcoming season, but let's be honest, we're all moving differently currently, and I'm digging it. And they are moving differently. Mm-hmm. It does feel a lot different than the years past. Maybe pride got put aside and they said, you know what, we gotta start acting like a football team and stop doing the drama. But we'll see what happens if they drag out Pickens, or if they drag out and don't do anything in free agency. Then we're right back where we started. And I know it's about that time because I just got my seat license renewal. So I know we're getting close to free agency because it's strategically done the day before free agency. I got to pay my commitment. So they're not stupid. They're not.
But
stupid.
you know, they say when you get closer to the end, perhaps you get a different perspective.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So maybe that's what Jerry's looking at it and saying, man, it has been 30 years. And I really, really, above all else, want to make it back there.
Yeah. And you know, it's weird because you haven't seen him out. Like we haven't.
You haven't seen him out.
And you know the great thing about something like that, when it comes to people getting close to the end, they can lead a life of like Jerry's doing when it comes to this franchise that just makes you want to pull your hair out. But if he changes his stroke because of that and becomes the person that we need him to be, it's almost like all that will be forgotten. And that's how easy and quick he can change the mentality in all of his fans. In one season, everybody will look at how he used to be, but all everybody's concerned about now is what's in front of them right now and how we're going forward. They will give him a pass to an extent for all of that if he just all of a sudden turned a full new leaf and going forward, things were different. It'll be like, we don't have time to dwell on all that. He's finally changed. So let's just give him his roses now and move forward. And we're happy with what he's doing now. He'll get applause on the field when he goes out. Everybody will totally kind of forget about the past because we're so eager to see the Cowboys win and be successful that we'll just chalk that up to some bad times. But we're alive to be able to see the transformation. And that would be more important to people because it's what's right in front of you right now.
So looking at the chat, see, Ultra says, Cowboys not winning a Super Bowl with Happy Feet Dak at quarterback not happening. Well, Chris said, stay positive, Ultra. Well, Ultra, I'm going to tell you, or Chris, I'm going to tell you what Ultra's saying. He's positive that the Cowboys aren't going to win Super Bowl with Dak, Happy Feet Dak. So I disagree. I actually think
Dak is not.
I actually think Dak could win a Super Bowl with a good running game and a strong defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's not Dak. It's
look at the quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl in the past few years. I mean, I think you look at Dak and what he can do. I mean, he's not the problem. There was something I wish I would have had it, but Mark Holmes. I mean, most everyone knows Mark Holmes. He's like the GOAT of Cowboys. YouTube. He had something that's a young lady put together, and it was basically the statistics and probability. and they were shown with Dak and with the offense, as well as they do, their probability of winning hardly changes. It's all the defense, and everything is all about the defense for the Cowboys and their success. That's been the Achilles heel. They looked at the playoffs, they looked at the seasons, and they went through it. And I encourage you to go back and watch it. You could go on Mark Holmes, and he talked about it. I think he did just a quick show on it. But if your defense is giving up 200 plus yards rushing and your defense is giving up 400 yards passing, I mean, look what I'm going off the top of my head. JJ McCarthy looked like an all-pro, and then he sucked every other game. I was at the game with Brissett in Arizona, looked like an all-pro. Russell Wilson looked like an all-pro. He looked like he couldn't throw the ball after Dallas, after that game. He ended up getting benched. You can go down the list of quarterbacks that we've made look so good this season. How the hell could you blame the offense? I mean, the offense had to be perfect 100% of the time, and you just can't play that way. You just can't play that way.
And, for somebody to say Dak and you consistent for 5 years, I can say, well, I've been consistent for the last 10 years because long as Steele is on the team, we're never going to the Super Bowl. I can be consistent for the last 9 years, long as Zeke's on the team, we're not going to the Super Bowl. That's, with all due respect, Ultra, that's lame. That's lame. We all know Dak is not the problem. We all know that. Dak is not the problem.
Well, let me just say,
defense undoubtedly is the problem.
Let me say it a little bit differently, Greg. I'm gonna say it just a little bit differently. Last season, Dak was not the problem. So we can talk about seasons before that if you want to, because I'm not the biggest Dak fan, but we can't blame last season on Dak. That was 100% defense.
And we can't blame the season before on Dak. And we can't blame the season before that on Dak.
Well, and see, the thing about football,
Green Bay.
Yeah, look, the thing about football is every year you got to come back and update your resume.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't even care what he did 5 years ago.
That's right.
Right. I was only worried about what he did this year. And now I'm only worried about what he does next year. I don't even care what happened 5 years ago.
And it's not the last for a fact, because he said for 5 years. The last 3 years haven't been Dak's fault. The third year going back, he got us to the playoffs. And Green Bay annihilated our what? Defense. And he still ended up scoring 30-something points. Defense. And then last year and this season, defense blew it. So it's not Dak. Dak can only do what he has around him, with what he has around him. And then if he's on the bench and he's back on the field every 5 minutes because the defense can't hold the other team down, you can't expect him to score 60 points every game. So that theory about long as Dak is back there, we're never going to win. I'm so sick and tired of that low.
Well, it's an easy, tired narrative. It's a team sport. Go look at the yards that the Cowboys have run for in the playoffs, and then look at the rushing yards allowed. That is typically that's going to tell you who's going to win the game.
Yep.
You take a look at what Drake made. No disrespect to Drake, he won. He's going to the Super Bowl with 80 yards passing, 10 of 21. 80 yards passing. So are you going to say that New England won that game because of Drake May? You know what I mean? The game before that, he had 4 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and they end up winning that game. Did they beat the Texans because of Drake May? You know what I mean? Everything gets put on the quarterback like these are all determined by them. It's a team game. You have to have every side of the ball going. You got to have special teams. You got to defense. You got to all be doing your job. And that's the problem with Dallas. Now, is Dak had some bad plays in the play? Sure. Absolutely. I was there for the San Francisco game, and that's the one game that I would say we were better and we blew it. Mm-hmm. And it was the San Francisco game that was in Dallas. I think, Jeff, you and I might have been.
I was there with you.
I couldn't get out of that
down fast enough for that one last play. Yeah. You and I were there.
Defense,
range of emotions.
That was one of those games where we were better than them. And I think the Green Bay, we were better than them. And I think what happened is you saw, I mean, the defense looked like shit. The offense couldn't get going. And then when the offense gets going, it's too late. The defense can't stop anyone. So it's a team game. And I'd love to sit there and throw all the blame on the quarterback and say, then Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback of our era because he won a Super Bowl. And look, he wins, and he's, you know what I mean? It's just easy, low hanging fruit.
Look at the Eagles fans now. What they saying about Jalen Hurts?
Yeah. No, you know what? I don't understand though.
Jalen Hurts ain't that. No, it's the lowest hanging fruit. People always want to blame the quarterback for the lowest hanging fruit. When this last 3 seasons, we're on television, watching television, and our defense is non-existent. But it's Dak's fault.
So I'm just gonna say I don't understand the whole Dak fanboy narrative coming from Ultra because
that's what he does. But
I've been big on this. I'm not a Dak
comeback. Jeff, when you don't have when you can't argue the point, the easiest thing to do is that's what you say. That is like he is the typical that one where that there's nothing you could put with it. When you can never say anything positive. And it's always negative. He's like the Carl of the Cowboy fans. It's like you're just going to be negative to be negative. If he were to say, "Hey, I like what Dak does here. Dak did this right. The defense, but it's always 100% on Dak." So that tells me he's just a hater of him personally for whatever reason, and you're never going to change that. And God bless. That's all.
It's not well thought out because he made a statement where in 2016 against Green Bay he threw an interception in the red zone. 2016, 10 years ago? 10 years ago? Come on, man. See, it's not methodically thought out. But
I just don't understand that if you're looking at it and you're assigning the accountability where it needed to be. And last season, it was 100% on the defense. Yes. Now we're Dak fanboys because we're calling it like we saw it. Okay. Hey, whatever.
I wouldn't trade Dak or get rid of Dak. Dak is where he needs to be. Dak is playing good football. We all know if we get this defense together, things are going to happen. But it ain't Dak's fault. And that's just the easiest low-hanging fruit for somebody to go to when they don't sit there and study the aspect of what's causing the problems, especially when it's right in your face. Yeah. It's right in your face what the problem is. If you can't see that, then you don't see it at all.
And last season they always throw money on the quarterback. Like, why? I've never understood why anyone cares what someone else makes. Like, I don't know what you make, Jeff, and I don't really give a shit. Greg, I don't know what you make or what kind of money you got in the bank. I could care less what a player. Once a player signs his contract, that's up to the owner. And once they sign it, I don't even think about it anymore. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, who cares? Don't get mad. Don't get mad at the player. Go get mad at the owner if you want to go yell at someone about getting paid. Hey, I ain't giving my money back to my company. That's for damn sure.
Like, why are you gonna get mad because of money? I mean, exactly. Don't hate the game.
And if you want to blame somebody, if you really want to blame somebody, the most
don't do that because he loves Jerry. He loves Jerry.
Obvious person to blame is JJ. Also, you probably think JJ is the best owner in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
Hey, fact.
That is true.
That's fact right there.
That is true.
How you gonna count somebody else's money? That's crazy.
Yeah. I could care less what somebody's making, man. Ain't my problem. I'm all for when I see Eugene and I see Mel Renfro and I see Dorsey, you see Earl Campbell, you see these guys that played and what their body is like today. Go get all the money you can, man. Go get all the money you can. Yep. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to maximize my opportunity and my job just like anybody else would. If my company wants to give me a big raise and give me a big increase, I ain't going to say, well, yeah, nah, why don't you just leave my pay the same? Because I don't want that money. Bullshit.
Well, Ultra, you just sunk your battleship. You are loyal to Jerry. That explains it all.
I just saw that. Oh my.
That explains it all. And when I see something like that, I can't respond to a brick wall.
Hey, I was surprised when I saw that.
I could have told you that. A brick wall because you're talking to a brick wall. So I'll save the rest of mine for that.
Look, I love Jerry, the businessman. I can't stand Jerry the GM.
Yeah,
No.
he's loyal. He's loyal to Jerry.
Look, I saw the 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, but who built that team though? That wasn't Jerry.
No.
He don't see that. He don't see that.
Oh, okay.
But it's a brick. Once I saw that, it said, Greg, you're talking to a brick wall. You know what you do when you see brick walls, right? Keep walking.
Okay, you know what? Let me back up real quick. So Ultra then, if you're going to give Jerry the credit for those 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, are you going to give Jerry the blame for the last 30 years then?
Oh,
No, he blames
No,
everyone.
hey, we got to be consistent. We got to be consistent.
Joe, he already told you who he gets the blame on.
But that's my point. That's my
But he
point.
doesn't, hey, but let's just be fair. He doesn't blame Romo for those years.
Or Dak. I mean, no, he blames Dak.
No, he blames Dak. He don't play. He gives Romo a pass that Romo didn't, but he doesn't. He doesn't forget those Romo years. If you want to talk about it, Romo and Dak are 2 identical quarterbacks.
They are at this point.
Hey, has Jerry won without Jerry won with Jimmy's team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going to give him the credit for the 3 and 4 years, which okay, cool, you got to give him the blame for the last 30.
So if you win 3, does that mean like for the rest of your life, it's fine that you?
I guess you're a made man. I guess you're a made man then, huh?
I'm not giving this brick wall any more attention.
I love Ultra. I love Ultra.
It's in concrete.
He makes it entertaining. They signed Dion and they won the Super Bowl. So the other guys had nothing to do with it.
No, nothing. It was only
Aikman and Irvin and Haley and Eric Williams and Nate
man. What are we talking about? Oh my goodness. Oh,
oh man.
Ultra
It's
man.
funny.
I thought you were a really knowledgeable fan for the past couple weeks that I've seen you on here. Boy, something changed up.
I don't know. Yeah, he might be excited for the Super Bowl. For the Super Bowl. And we are too. And we definitely appreciate everybody in the cave. Make sure you guys hit that like. Make sure you hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel. I see a lot of new people in the chat, which is always refreshing. And we do have our Cowboys Cave family. You can join very modest monthly. I think it's like $4.99 a month. You get a membership. And we do a lot of giveaways. One of the things I'm going to do a show. I'm going to record a video today, and it's only for the members, and I'm going to tell you how you can win this. Here, this will be for Ultra, right? He loves the 90s, so it's Kevin Smith and Larry Brown, dual sign photo. Both of them have been on the show, so it's always cool to get that and give something back. So we're going to be doing that as well. So make sure if you guys aren't, be part of the Cowboys Cave family. But at worst, you can just subscribe. That's free. Hitting the like button is free. Nothing else you have to do. But yeah,
you got one signed by Jerry Jones.
For you, or should we give it to
hell no. That'll be an easy one. You get one signed by Jerry Jones. Nobody's gonna ask for it, so you know who you can give it to.
I do have a Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
I try and get all the coaches and stuff every. I try and get something.
Need something to put on his pillow at night when he lays his head down.
Oh, but anyway, we've been rolling for like almost 2 hours. It's been great. Jeff, any final thoughts? So you're traveling today. Are you going to be able to make it?
Yeah. Flight's at 4. I'll land at 5. It's actually 6 Eastern. About an hour to the hotel. So by the time I'll miss all the pregame stuff, which is fine by me. I post up in the hotel, get something to eat. Enjoy the game, and then get after it. So again, I think Seahawks win by 2 touchdowns at least.
Sure hope you are right.
Like I just think, but I think Vrabel's a very smart coach. I still go back to how he got those 2 minutes off the clock against it was Tom Brady's last game in New England. And he had a false start, he had a delayed game, but the clock kept running. Oh, hey, he's a very, very good coach, very smart coach, understands the rules ins and out. I will say if the game is close, then the Patriots absolutely have a chance because I think Vrabel, he's one of the best at doing it right now. But I just don't see how they man up against Seattle. So
I think if it's close, my edge goes to New England's coaching. I do. And McDonald's a good guy, but I do. I think that highly of Vrabel. So I agree with you.
Josh McDaniel, they've been there before.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. if New England win, the conspirators are going to be a dime a dozen. They will come out and there will be conspiracy theories about the NFL and everything. So the pregame, I'm not going to be too much into that because I'm tired. The pregame's been for 2 weeks long and I'm tired of it. It's boring. I'll be ready for the game. Halftime, I'll watch because I want to see Bad Bunny. I'm supporting Bad Bunny. So I'll be watching that and then the rest of the game. And Seattle should win this game. The only thing is Vrabel has been there, done that, and he can scheme. New England has a history of keeping it very, very close in Super Bowls. And every one of the Super Bowls has been dramatic down to the last drive. Yeah. So if it gets to that, it favors New England. But I expect Seattle to be the Legion of Boom Part 2 and do to these boys what they did to Denver when Peyton joined them. So yeah. I would like to see that, and I would really make my weekend if they win it.
Yeah. You know, the thing I would say about the halftime show real quick, I don't know who Bad Bunny is. I never heard of a song. I would love, like, when you're in that city, like, I'm old school thought. I would love get some artists within that city because you got a guy like Too Short that's, from the Bay Area. And I would love some Too Short.
Hey, they ain't doing no E40, no Too Short. Super Bowl now. Come on now.
E40, he ain't got no lyrics.
I would love some I would love some of that. So, but I don't know. I mean, I think the halftime show is so overblown every year, and you cannot put on a good show in 12 minutes because it's just there's not enough time. Yeah. So you mash everything up, and you get most people hate it, then some people like it. The only good one I remember, I mean, I hate to say, was Dr. Dre, and when they had Snoop and they did that was phenomenal. But some of the artists where they're just trying to mash up a bunch of songs, it just makes it so hard to like really get into it. And so we'll see what happens. What happens. But I'm hoping for a good game. I think it's going to be great. Jeff, safe travels. Thanks, sir.
Appreciate
everybody else. We'll be back in the cave. We'll do our post-game show either Monday or Tuesday. I got to see when my son's game is, what time it is. But it's good. Yeah, Prince was legendary too. Some of them that really focused.
And when it rained during Purple Rain?
Yes.
Boy, goodness gracious.
There are some good ones. I'm just saying there's been some that they're really good performers, but they're kind of set up not to really, really maximize the showcase of their talent. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Too Short, E40. I mean, there's so much talent in that Bay Area. I always like that stuff. I like to get the local talent. Just like they did in Miami. Didn't they do Shakira and J-Lo and did they have they had all that kind of feel, the Miami vibe. Like I get the culture of the area.
Yeah, but the NFL is so commercial.
Right? Oh, I know.
And Bad Bunny got like 82 million followers or something like that. So that's why they do it.
Yeah.
And look, if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, go get a snack.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they got a mute button, or you go get something to eat, catch up on the food. But people make such a big deal. It's just, they make a big deal out of nothing. But yeah. So anyway, you guys have a great one. Enjoy it. We'll be back live. Tank Lawrence, I'm wearing this one last time. I usually don't wear old school stuff of guys on other teams, but Tank Lawrence, I love him, and I appreciate everything he did for me. So I am rooting for Tank Lawrence and Seattle to win a Super Bowl and hopefully cover, because otherwise I lost some money that I made while I was drinking, and that's never, Uncle Cheech tells you, don't drink and gamble. You don't think clearly. So hopefully I don't screw myself. But you guys take care. Greg and Jeff, have an awesome week. We will talk to you guys soon. Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. Finally here. Season's going to be over, so it's going to be very sad, but we're going to work through the off season with you guys. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Hit that like, subscribe on the way out. Love you guys. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
Yeah.